Your target know we're here. Track them down quickly. Target located. Bring them in. Mission complete. The captive has been escorted to the extraction point. Well done. I'm detecting a large security force heading your way. It's the Grenier.
A little treat from my little meat. Thank you, darling.
There is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Broken their ranks and they are on the run. Another successful mission. Find extraction.
Oh, little meat. Too kind. I shall buy something lovely with this. A germ weapon, perhaps?
platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Marines inbound. The enemy is broken. Well done. Now get to extraction.
A little treat from my little meat. Thank you, darling. This has to.
There is a prisoner here that is vital to our operations. Search for the holding location. Find the captive as soon as you can. We don't have much time. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Watch yourself. Grineer are on the way. You are approaching the holding area. Careful. If the wardens detect you, they will surely initiate the execution sequence. We've reached the prison. Find our prisoner in one of these cells.
I'm in your debt, Tenno. Let's go home.
Prisoner located. We need to get them back to command in one piece. Find your way to the exits, and don't leave the subject behind.
Got an extra weapon? They won't just let us walk out of here.
A little treat from my little meat. Thank you, darling.
You have loyal.
The Grineer are attempting to clear this forest by poisoning the soil. You are here to sabotage their efforts. Start with the toxin mixer. My intel suggests there are rich enemy supply caches in the area, but I am unable to pinpoint their exact location. Search them out if you are willing to shoulder the added risk. Remove the biocatalyst from the mixer to halt the Grineer poison's creation. Take care when destroying the biocatalyst cartridge. It is highly explosive. Good work. Now get to the injector. Set the injector into overdrive to incinerate the toxin. We are going to destroy the injector by operating it at a dangerously high velocity. Keep the Grineer at bay until it melts down. Just destroyed a massive batch of Grineer toxin. Good work. Get to extraction.
A little treat from my little meat. Thank you, darling.
Here to infiltrate data vaults and retrieve highly sensitive enemy information. On the lookout for increased security measures. The enemy would rather destroy their data than let it get into our hands. Nobody knows you're here. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. You're nearing the console. Trigger the alarms now, and they will start destroying the data.
No! Back! I bleed you! Ha ha! Tenno not know what they fight, not know the power of the old blood.
Excellent work. A clean extraction with no alarms. The target console is nearby. If you trigger the alarms now, the enemy will start destroying data. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Data extracted. They won't even know it's gone. We have everything we came for. Get to extraction.
I didn't say you could play here. Now, give me that.
You are here on a capture mission. You must find, capture, and extract our target. capture target has vital information that we will need to extract. We need our subject brought. The enemy is at our doorstep. You must defend our equipment until reinforcements arrive.
Show me what you have learned. I have learned that it takes only 8 pounds of force to remove a human ear. Oh, well. The pain, the blood, the death. All for you, my queens. It was all for you.
We're done here. The extraction team will take over from here. Time to evacuate.
we've shared.
All set. Serviced your weapons myself.
Looking for the mainframe. It's critical that you deliver the payload to that location. Your target is this location's computer system. Find and access the terminals. Your target is the reactor. The reactor will have tight security. Watch out for enemy patrols. Target found. Destroyer. Target destroyed. Proceed to the extraction point.
Where you look, I am not. And then suddenly, I am.
A little treat from my little meat. Thank you, darling.
This is a rescue mission. We need to find and liberate the hostage before any harm comes to them. Find the captive as soon as you can. We don't have much time. You are approaching the holding area. Careful. If the wardens detect you, they will surely initiate the execution sequence. Prisoner located. We need to get them back to command in one piece. Find your way to the exits, and don't leave the subject behind.
I can fight too. Give me a weapon.
Oh, little meat. Too kind. I shall buy something lovely with this. A germ weapon, perhaps? Before someone dies, their last word is almost always no. It was my last word to you.
There is a prisoner here that is vital to our operations. Search for the holding location. There's no telling what the captors are doing to our rescue target. You need to find the holding cell immediately.
I can taste my spleen. That's not good. Easy come, easy go.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Bodily stress exceeds engineering tolerances.
You are approaching the holding area. Careful. If the wardens detect you, they will surely initiate the execution sequence. This is the jail. Our hostage is in one of these cells.
Thank the stars, not a minute too soon.
You've located the hostage. Escort the prisoner to the extraction point, and I'll take care of the rest.
Got a weapon for me? I've got some scores to settle.
Oh, little meat. Too kind. I shall buy something lovely with this. A germ weapon, perhaps? How shocking it...
You are here on a capture mission. You must find, capture, and extract our target. You found a target. Capture them quickly before they escape. Success. The captive is safely in our hands. Congratulations, Tenno.
I didn't say you could play here. Now, give me that. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't make me forget.
You are here to find our target and bring them to the extraction point. Happy hunting. Target located. Bring them in. We cannot let our target know we're here. Track them down quickly. Mission complete. The captive has been escorted to the extraction point. Well done.
I'm adding this to my data under the heading Consequences.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
A little treat from my little meat. Thank you, darling. Anyone can hack someone to pieces, but it takes a goddess to put themselves back together again.
There is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing. approaching. To extraction.
I didn't say you could play here. Now, give me that.
There is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Remember how much fun we had when you killed me? Ha! Are you holding back? The pain, the blood, the death, all for you, my queen. It was all for you.
The enemy is broken. Well done. Now get to extraction.
I'm seeing wings. Give me some super strength.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Yes, you're very clever. You still haven't found me though, have you? If all those I've killed were alive right now...
If I may say, operator, your chosen Warframe suits you.
You are here to find our target and bring them to the extraction point. Happy hunting. Target located. Bring them in. The capture target has vital information that we will need to extract. We need our subject brought back alive. Success. The captive is safely in our hands. Congratulations, Tenno. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Heads up. A Grineer assault team is headed your way.
I see you. No, wait, let's talk. Yes? Me miscalculated.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Everyone pays in my playground, one way or the other.
is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing.
I forgive you for what you did. The queens, the Kuva, have bestowed upon me new gifts.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Marines inbound. I am detecting a prosecutor. Get ready for a tough fight. You have broken their ranks and they are on the run. Another successful mission. Find extraction. Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
All set. Service your weapons myself.
platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Heads up. A Grenier assault team is headed your way. Is broken. Well done. Now get to extraction.
A little treat from my little meat. Thank you, darling.
All set. Service your weapons myself.
Oh, no, 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 no. Don't make me forgive you. Not again. Remember?
sabotage this ship's reactor. The reactor is a complex system. Start by removing the coolant cells. My intel suggests there are rich enemy supply caches in the area, but I am unable to pinpoint their exact location. Search them out if you are willing to shoulder the added risk. Cell extracted. The reactor is going into stasis. Now is your chance to complete this sabotage. Use whatever you can to make sure it never works again. A coolant cell has been extracted. Fuel cell reinserted. When the reactor is restarted, this will trigger a meltdown. Destroy the fuel injectors. A blast door has blocked your evacuation route. Find a way to open it. Another job well executed.
Tenno.
I suppose there is a time for everything. Even this. So be it.
Rainier Galleon in system. High value personage aboard. Infiltrate and terminate. Rainier interceptors alerted. Contact imminent. Goodbye. We have one less crew ship to be concerned with. Direct attention to remaining targets. Maintain anti-fighter cover. They are about to break. Alert. Enemy cruise ship on scope. Enemy fighters are routing. Cruise ship reactor has detonated. Pretty. Cruise ship down. That clears up some space. Galleon has entered the fight. This changes things. Updating target manifest. Galleon captain. Board and kill. Arkwing slingshot loaded. Pedo in the barrel. Dropping pedo out of airlock.
Oh, little meat. Really? The system won't be the same without you. Little meat, you really cannot keep interfering like this. You know I have to stop you. Little meat, this fight won't be like the last time. I can promise you that. Our affair is concluded. For now.
What is this? Baby's first vendetta? Alien Captain down. Support down. Sector clear. Closing mission dossier. Requesting new orders.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Messages in your inbox, operator. They are not as encrypted as they should be. All set. Service your weapons myself. Operator, the sentients are not laughing at my jokes. Did they adapt to my humor? You have loyalty issues, Tenno. Myself.
Say Sheen.
Say Sheen.
If you are looking to unlock the 13 brand new Coda weapons in Warframe's Tekrot Encore update completely as a solo player, then you came to the right place. Today I'm going to show you all of the prerequisites to starting a Coda hunt, exactly how to start a Coda hunt, the best way to go through one once you have already started it, a bunch of tips and tricks and methods that I employ to get through it decently quickly so that you don't have to do a bunch of math or nonsense or figure out which mods to put on. And finally, I'm going to show you the best way to do the final boss fight, the final boss confrontation, what frame you should bring in, what build you should bring in, so that you're literally invincible during the fight to make it easy peasy. So, what are the prerequisites for starting a Coda hunt? Well, step one is that you are going to need to make sure that you have all of the main story quests completed up to and including the Hex main story quest, because you of course need access to the Halvania Central Mall, and specifically these 5 nodes right here to effectively complete any Coda hunt that you start. But before you start a Coda hunt, you're going to need to make sure that you are in possession of antivirus mods. These are mods that will go on your Parazon and are required to eventually complete your Coda hunt. You can acquire these antivirus mods either by coming to the Halvania bounty board and doing the one bounty that will be available here. As you can see, there are 8 total antivirus mods, and you can acquire any one of them by completing this mission. It is a pretty high level mission requiring you to be level 125 through 130, or rather having level 125 to 130 enemies on normal difficulty. So this one is going to be a little bit rough. Of course, if you do end up queuing this mission, you can go ahead and go on public so that the game automatically matchmakes you with people to make it a little bit easier, but just bring your best build into this bounty mission and stock up on a couple of these antivirus mods before you begin your Coda hunt. Another alternative method of acquiring these antivirus mods, if you're willing to spend a little bit of money or you've earned some platinum in-game through selling prime parts and trading things, you can come to the market and buy a Coda antivirus mod pack for 100 platinum, which gives you 1 copy of each of the 8 available antivirus mods. You can also consider, if you would like, buying a potency mod pack, which are also going to be important for the Coda hunt. We're going to get more into the specifics of how to use these and how to apply these, but these are a lot easier to get. You don't have to specifically target farm them through bounties, so in terms of a plat value purchase, these are much less necessary. If you do want the best bang for your buck though, and you want to skip the grind of having to acquire specifically the antivirus mods, and you want a couple of extra potency mods as well, you can get a bundle for 130 plat that will give you 1 of all of the antivirus mods and 1, but in my view, don't necessarily need the potency mods before you start the Coda hunt. As long as you have the antivirus mods before you start, you'll be in pretty good shape. We are going to come over here to the computer and we are going to launch any Halvania Central Mall node, any 1999 node. Me personally, I like doing either the Legasite Harvest node or either of the Exterminate nodes, as in my opinion they feel the fastest. So we're going to go ahead and boot one of those up. Then once we're in here, we're simply going to kill a couple of enemies until one of them drops the marked mixtape. It'll be marked by a gold icon. This is again assuming that you have completed all of the prerequisites and assuming that you are not already in a Kuva Lich hunt or a sister hunt or anything of that nature. You can have no active hunt before starting this. Oh, there's one. Perfect. Okay, so we killed an enemy and it dropped, as you can see here, it's marked by this gold icon. Kind of looks like a CD. So if we hover over it, we see that we have got pick up glamorous popping track, or whatever it's called. So we're going to go ahead and pick that up. Once we pick up that item, we're going to get a bunch of marks on the map of terminals that we can go and attempt to hack with the track that we picked up. Now, you don't really have to worry about whether or not you successfully complete this hack or whether or not you fail the hack. It doesn't matter either way. It'll start your hunt either way. The only thing that you get for successfully completing it is you have a chance at a potency mod dropping once you complete the mission. If you fail it, or you don't care about the potency mod, you don't really have to finish the mission if you don't want to. If you want to speed things up, you can simply go ahead and leave the mission and your coda hunt will still be started. Again, if you do get a potency mod from successfully completing the hack, I don't believe you'll keep it if you do leave the mission, so that is a warning. But if you're only interested in speed,
शर्मा जी सो रहे, वर्मा भी सो रहे, पांड्या जी गहरी सी नींद में खो रहे, सूर्या भी बेफिक्र बिंदास सो रहे, बूम बूम बुमराह चैन से सो रहे, सारे खिलाड़ी ही जम जम के सो रहे।
सुनना, अपने सारे प्लेयर तो मैच के पहले सो रहे हैं।
जम के सोएंगे, तभी तो जम।
then you can go ahead and leave and you'll, right here, have your hunt started. You got DJ ROM, Have Mercy Float FM.1999. So once you have started your hunt, you can go ahead and head to the Garage Palm 2 PC, and you'll see you now have malware found in the top right. If you click on repair, it'll show you all of the details of your coda. It'll show you how much of the currency that you're going to get if you kill it. It'll show you all of the cosmetics that you're going to get if you kill it / convert it. Shows you whatever happens depending on which thing you do. Typically 99% of the time you're going to vanquish it if you are after, or sorry, rather 100% of the time you're going to vanquish it if you care about getting the coda weapons, because the live heart cell is the currency that you're going to use to purchase the coda weapons, and you only get that if you vanquish it. You do not get that if you convert it. So the ultimate goal with this hunt is to get this malware disinfection meter to 100%. And there's a lot of different ways that you can progress this meter. The easiest and simplest and most passive way that you're going to progress this meter is you get 5% towards this meter anytime you complete an infected node, which is these nodes right here with the green infected slimy background and whatnot. Anytime you finish one of those missions, you get 5% towards this meter. Now, the bulk of you filling up this meter is going to be you stabbing the duet that you are going to meet in these nodes while you have specific potency mods and antivirus mods on. So first things first, I want to talk about the difference between potency and antivirus mods. So if we go into our arsenal right here and we modify our Parazon, we are going to see, once it pops up, that these top 3 mods right here are going to be filled up by either our antivirus mods or our potency mods. Antivirus mods are these 8 mods right here that you see. The way these hunts work is one of these 8 mods is correct for stabbing our Technocyte coda in the duet that he sends. It doesn't matter what position it's in. So for example, if the Drive Duster, the one that looks like 44, is the one that's correct, it doesn't matter if it's in this position, or this position. Unlike previous hunts, the position of the specific mods doesn't matter. So step 1 that we're trying to do is we're simply trying to figure out which of these mods is the correct one. So what I like to do is I like to just pick 3 random antivirus mods and fill it in. That way that gives me information on whether or not one of these 3 is correct. If they're incorrect, then I will go ahead and swap them all out, and I'll say what we end up doing after we get our first stab, depending on if it's the correct stab or the incorrect stab. The potency mods are what we start applying once we know which of these 8 mods is correct, because the potency mods, as we hover over them, as you see, are going to, right here, gain 15% disinfection, gain 15% disinfection, and then they give you an ancillary benefit as well. So this one is 10% disinfection and a 25 chance to drop a potency mod when you do your stab. So sometimes you're going to want to use the 10% ones, sometimes you're going to want to use the 15% ones. It depends how progressed the meter is. As we get deeper into it, we'll explain which applications these mods have and when to equip them. But to start, we're just going to pick 3 random mods that we're going to throw on, 3 of the random antivirus mods, and then we're going to go ahead and start running some of these missions. So when we look here as we hover over the mission, we see on the bottom right a duet chance number. That chance is going to begin at 25% an increase by 25% for each mission that you successfully complete. This is the percentage chance that your duets, aka the enemies that you're going to stab to test your Parazon mods on, that is the percentage chance that they have of showing up. So it's quite unlikely that we're going to have them in this initial first mission, so we'll go ahead and run through. If we do end up having them and we stab them, then great, we get to test our mods. If we do not have them, then we simply get out of the mission and we get our 5% towards the antivirus meter for completing the mission. Now, I will say, as I'm running this mission, I am running this one completely solo. It's not the worst idea to run on public. Yes, it won't be pre-made teammates. It'll just randomly match you with other players that are doing the same mission. But it's not the worst idea to run on public and get randomly matched with 3 other players. Because if any of those players, I believe, have their duet spawned and they stab their duet, and one of their potency mods activates, or rather the ancillary effect activates. So for example, if they're using a potency mod that can give a reward or has a percentage chance to give a reward to the team, such as a different potency mod or even some of the currency to buy the weapon, I believe if their stab procs that mod for them, it also gives you the benefit as well. So there is a chance that you can reap the benefits, I believe, of other people's stabs. It's a very low percentage chance, and it does depend on what mods they have on, but I believe there is a chance nonetheless. Furthermore, you're probably going to get through these missions a little bit more quickly if you do have other people on your team, if you do queue up with the public matchmaking. But if you would prefer to play solo, it's really not that big of a deal. You're not shooting yourself in the foot all that much, assuming that you have a decent build and decent weapons that can get you through these missions relatively quick. So right here, this is actually very lucky for me. I had my duet spawn, even though this is the very first mission I'm doing. It was a 25% spawn chance. This is going to happen very infrequently for you. Typically, you're going to get them to spawn on mission 2 or 3, but we'll take it. So when they spawn, you're going to have to kill both of them. And then once both are down, you can see both of the health bars up in the top. Once both are down, you'll be able to stab either one of them. And this is going to test our Parazon mods. So we stab right here. I had a correct stab right here. As you can see, it tells me my 44 actually did end up being the correct mod. That's very funny. So now that I have successfully stabbed, now I know that I have the correct antivirus mod. Additionally, if you do land a stab with the correct antivirus mod, it forwards your disinfection meter by 5%. However, any mission in which you stab your coda, you do not get the 5% meter fill up from the mission completion. So you get it for the stab instead of the mission completion. So I won't be at 10% after I get out of here. I'll simply just be at 5% instead of getting the percentage from completing the mission. I just got it from getting a successful stab with the mod. So now we're going to go ahead and head on out of here after we kill all the enemies. I'm going to jump up here so you can see it. As you can see from that mission completion, I got a potency mod. So like I said before, when you're looking at the market, you don't necessarily have to buy the potency mods with plat, and you don't really need them before you start doing the hunt. You'll get them pretty frequently. I don't know if it's a 100% drop chance, but when I was running them, I got them a ridiculous amount, almost after every single mission, it felt like. You'll get them pretty quickly as you're running the missions and testing your antivirus mods. So anytime you stab your coda, all 5 of these missions will then become available to play again with the little green background behind them. Typically, when you play a mission, if your duet doesn't show up, which 25% of the chance of them to show up, they're not typically going to show up here. This mission will then no longer have the green thing on it, and then you need to pick a different one of the 5 missions until you eventually land a stab. Once you land a stab, all 5 of them will become optional again. The fastest ones are this Legosite Harvest right here and these 2 Exterminates. These survival ones, the Hell Scrubs, which are survival-esque missions. These are only going to be worst case scenario that you have to run them if you get really unlucky with these 3. But now that we've stabbed our coda and we go to repair, as we can see, the malware disinfection is at 5% now that we've stabbed him. So if we go to our Parazon menu, we can see that we now have found the correct antivirus mod. If none of these 3 were the correct one, then we would just see all 8 of the symbols here, and we would see red lines through all of the ones that were incorrect. So now that I know that this one is my correct mod, so this is the only one that I have any interest in leaving in. Every single other antivirus mod is now useless to me at this point, and all I want to do is fill this up with my potency mods. Now, Some of the potency mods are going to give you 15% towards disinfection. Others are going to give you 10% and a more favorable ancillary bonus. If you're just going for pure speed, all you're going to want to do is slap on all of the 15% antivirus mods. So right here, I've got two 15%ers, which means that every time I stab my duet now, I'm going to get 15% towards disinfection from this one, another 15% towards disinfection from this one for a total of 30, and then another 5% for having the correct antivirus mod on for a total of 35% per stab. Now, obviously, if you had 10%ers on here, if you only had one 10%, you would get 30% for a stab. If you had two 10%ers on here, you would get 25% for a stab. But there's no reason to have other antivirus mods in there anymore. Now, if you're in a situation where the 3 antivirus mods that you equipped for your first stab are not correct, and none of the 3 of them are correct, in that situation, what you would want to do is you want to take all 3 of them off and fit your 3 slots with 3 completely different antivirus mods for your next stab. I don't really like doing 2 antivirus mods and 1 potency mod or anything like that, because potency mods, disinfections, and their effects only proc if you land a stab with your correct antivirus mod. So in a worst case scenario, if your first stab, none of them are correct, then you've tested 3 of 8, then you would swap all of those out and put 3 different ones on. If those 3 again are incorrect, then you've tested 6 of 8, you're guaranteed that your third stab is going to have the correct antivirus mod because there's only 2 left that you could possibly test. And in that circumstance, you would then fit the final slot with a potency mod to apply disinfection because you're guaranteed that one of these 2 are going to be correct. So now that we have our 1 correct antivirus mod on and our 2 high percentage potency mods on, we're now just going to simply go ahead and continue running the missions until we eventually run into our duet again. Dude, there's no way I got them again. This is the craziest luck. This is not how this is supposed to go. Okay, so now that first mission again, got super lucky. Now that I have them again, I already know my correct antivirus mod. So now my correct antivirus mod is going to give me 5%, and then I have 2 15% potency mods. So as you can see at the top, I got disinfection plus 35% on that stab. So now with that second stab applying 35%, we're now at 40%. So we're simply going to keep our 2 15% potency mods on in conjunction with our correct antivirus mod, and we're going to continue running missions, continue accruing the 5% of disinfection per mission that we complete, and continue trying to get them to spawn so we can continue to hit them with stabs to fill up this malware disinfection meter to 100%. Go back here. All right, so since we successfully completed that mission, we can now go to repair, and we see that our malware disinfection has simply gone up by 5% from 40% to 45%. And we can now also see that that node is no longer available to run until we stab our duet next. Furthermore, we see that our duet chance has now gone from 25% to 50%. As we said before, it goes up by 25% for each mission that you complete that you do not stab them. So we'll go ahead and run the next mission and hope that they pop up. Alrighty, wrapped up with this one. So with another mission completion, we get another 5%. So now we're at 50%. And the node that we just ran is no longer available to ran for this particular cycle until we stab. Now our duet chance has a 75% chance of spawning. For the quickest mission, we're going to go with the Legicide Harvest. Again, these Hell Scrub ones, the survival ones, are the longest ones. So we're going to go ahead and boot up this Legicide Harvest and hope that we can get it to spawn right here. You can get through the Harvest one really quickly if you're doing a good job of making sure that you pick up all of the red organ looking pickups, the coughed up lungs, and feeding them to Kalimos. So with that mission completion, up another 5% at 55%, and that node is gone. So now, unfortunately, we do have to engage in one of the survival missions, but on the bright side, our duet has a 100% chance of spawning. They are guaranteed to pop up. So we're gonna go ahead and queue it up, and we're guaranteed to get a stab out of this one. All right, so here's the homies. We'll go ahead and blast them, hit the stab. This is, of course, going to give us another 35%. Because we have our correct antivirus mod and both of our 15% potency mods on. Now, if you do this in the survival, you could, if you would like to, in the interest of time, you could simply leave the mission after hitting that stab. You will, of course, forfeit any rewards that you get during the mission, but if you care a lot more about just going fast and you care a lot more about time, your stab will stick and the disinfection will stick. So you do have that option if you want to speed things up a bit, if you do end up getting all the way to any of the survival nodes. So now, as you can see, since we have stabbed, we have access to all 5 of the nodes again, and our duet chance is reduced back down to a 25% chance of spawning, and we are now at 90% malware disinfection. So now that we're in kill stab territory, aka one more stab is enough to get us to 100% on the meter, I want to talk about the specifics of which mods you want to have on your Parazon going into this final stab. And the reason I want to talk about that is because to get to 100%, you have to do a stab. The 5% post-mission bonus, the 5% of disinfection that you get, that will not get you to 100%. So if you're at 95% malware disinfection and you complete a mission, that will not get you to 100% and send your Tennessite Coda into the final fight. The only way to do that is with a stab. So the most percentage that you can get, the most disinfection that you can get on a stab is 35%. So anytime you're in a situation, let's say we were at 65%, and I had a high chance of my Tennessite Coda spawning, I would want to make sure that I have my correct antivirus mod on, because that is the only way that you can get the potency mod disinfection percentage to apply, and that gives us 5% in and of itself. I would want to make sure I had the correct antivirus mod on, as well as 2 15% potency mods on. This is if I was theoretically at 65%. I would definitely want to make sure that I do not have 30% worth of disinfection mods, because if I did so, stabbing would get me to 95%, which means I would have to run potentially another 2, 3, maybe even 4 missions to get them to spawn again, to get another stab to not only give me the final 5%, but because a stab has to occur to get them to 100% to actually send them to the final boss fight. Since I'm in a situation here where I'm at 90%, I'm not really in any concern. The only way I could potentially theoretically mess this up is if I went into this mission with only my correct mod on to give me 5% on a stab. That would get me to 95%, and then I would be in that pickle. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have my correct antivirus mod on, because I need that to actually apply potency and for the stab to stick. So in this situation, I'm simply going to slap on a 10% mod, because that'll give me 15% total. 15% plus 90%, that puts me 2 or over 100, and then I'm good to go. So with these 2 mods on, we now have a theoretical 15% from a stab. We're good to go. That'll take us over the meter, so we can go ahead and continue running missions to hopefully spawn our Tennessite Coda eventually and get that final stab. Alrighty. So now that we have run that mission and we did not get our duet to spawn, our duet now is, of course, has a chance of 50% to appear in any of these missions, but since we get the 5% bonus there, our malware disinfection is now at 95%, which means if we want to save the charges on our potency mods on our Parazon, we can take this one off if we would like to, as 5% is all we need. We'll get that from having the correct antivirus mod, and so we can save the charges on our other ones if we would like to. You don't have to. If you want to keep them on to attempt to get the ancillary benefits from the stab, you can, but if you'd rather save them, you can take them off, and since we only need 5% here. Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing? And here is our final stab. Boom. That is going to get the remaining 5%. Now we're at 100% on our disinfection. Now, at this point, if you wanted to, you could abort the mission like we did with the survival one. I'm basically done with this already, so I'll just hang in here because, you know, why not? I see I got a potency mod as well. I can't really see it too much because my webcam's covering it. It's right above my webcam. But I would like to hang on to that potency mod, so might as well finish up. It's up to you. If you are down to forfeit the current rewards that you have by bouncing, you can, then you can go straight to the final fight. Or you can wrap up if you like the rewards you have. And so now we can see that our Coda is at 100% malware disinfection, and we can see by this little icon next to the railjack that we are now able to go into the Technosite Coda concert, the final confrontation, to go and fight them. But before we go and head that way, we're going to switch up our Warframe to Revenant. Hopefully you have access to Revenant. If you do not have access to Revenant, I would imagine Rhino would also be pretty exceptional at this fight. There's probably a lot of other frames that would be very nice, but Revenant makes this fight completely brainless solo. It is ridiculously easy. You're gonna throw in Revenant and your favorite weapon, your best weapon. If you would like to also, if you want to optimize even further, you can look at your coda and take a look at their weaknesses, so you can adapt your weapon elements to match these weaknesses. I'm not going to bother because on Revenant it really is extremely easy. So we're going to simply throw on Revenant. As far as your build goes for Revenant, you're simply going to want to make sure that you have as much strength as possible so that you can get as many charges with Mesmer Skin as possible. Again, we'll get into the specifics of what we're going to do, what buttons to hit, so if you don't know what I'm talking about right now, don't worry about it. As much strength as possible, so you can simply type in strength in these mods and put in whatever gives you a decent amount of strength. And then if you have any leftover energy, we're going to want to get maybe a little bit of efficiency and some max energy. So something like Prime Flow that increases your energy max is really good. Something like Base Flow could also be good. Just want a decent amount of strength, max energy, and maybe a little bit of efficiency if you have some mods for that. So we're going to go ahead and launch the sucker up. So once we load in, we'll go ahead and hop on to pilot the ship. And then we're going to have two objective markers here. We're simply going to fly to the first one. Oh, sorry, I flew before they actually appeared. Once you get close enough to it, it'll forcibly pull you off of piloting the railjack because you have a bunch of Technocyte invaders. So we're going to kill all of these Technocyte invaders, as you can see in the top left. When I'm running solo, I have 30 of them to kill. We also have two hives. If you look at the top left on my mini-map, the red diamond icons, sort of, are the hives. This is what they look like. So I got to kill two of these. So we're going to run back here. Kill all of these enemies. I see the other hive is over here. Once I have the hives destroyed and I've killed all of the remaining techno enemies, then I will be able to go back to pilot my ship to destroy the speaker, which is this sucker right here. It's got a decent amount of HP, but you just blast it for long enough, it'll eventually blow up. And then we're going to go to the other gold icon. Again, there would typically be two, but I rushed ahead. Once we get close enough to it, it's going to force us to exit, which indicates to us that we have some friends visiting. And once again, simply going to kill all of these enemies. Find those hives. Look at our mini-map to see where they are. And then once all the hives are dead, we're going to mop up the remainder of the enemies. And once all the enemies are dead, we can go ahead and destroy the final speaker. Again, they're a little tanky, but just do some firepower to them, and they will eventually die. Once you kill the second speaker, you are ready to go and do the final boss fight right over here. So we're going to wait until all the vines and stuff kind of clear out. You give it a sec after you kill the final speaker, and boom. And we're going to head on inside the stadium, get a little close, and then we're going to exit our railjack. And we're going to fly on through here. Once we're in, we're going to get to this room where we have to destroy some of the screens that are lit up, usually only one or two, and then we'll be able to progress, and then we're on to the final boss fight. The final boss fight occurs in two phases. The first phase is avoiding the stage's attacks. Now, typically, you would have to know all these attacks and do a decent job of dodging them and whatnot. But with Revenant, when you have your Mesmer Skin active, you can simply just eat the attacks. As you can see in the bottom right of my screen, I've got a small number on my second ability. That's my Mesmer Skin being up. So whenever that number gets low, I'll simply just recast it to refresh the stacks, and I can simply sit here and eat all of the attacks. Doesn't matter whatsoever. These laser beams usually borderline one-shot you. Recast my Mesmer Skin, now I'm back up to 14 stacks. I can eat 14 hits. Not a problem at all. Couldn't be easier. So once we but once enough attacks go off, the band will then pop out. We'll simply nuke all of the band members, plus the main HP bar of the actual quota that we're hunting. Normally, you would want to nuke the side members first and then focus on the main member, because if you down the main member's health bar before you take care of his lackeys, then the lackeys can revive him. But with Mesmer Skin, we're not in any danger anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Get half of his HP bar down, then it's simply another round of dodging attacks, but we're not actually having to dodge them because we have Mesmer Skin. Be a little careful. When you recast Mesmer Skin, it takes away your invulnerability while you refresh your stacks. So maybe do kind of make sure that an attack isn't coming when you recast, but you get 4 revives, so even if you do get hit or even if you do go down, it's really not the end of the world. Then we have the final phase of the fight. His lackeys are reviving him, but now all of his lackeys are dead, burn down the final health bar. And then we get the final stab. Like I said, if you want to do the Coda weapons specifically, we do not want to convert them, we want to vanquish them. So I'm going to do the right side, hold D in this case, but if you're on controller, it might say something different. And we will get our kill. And then we're going to fly on over here to exit the mission. Final boss fight really is that simple if you're on Revenant. I have not tested it on Rhino, but I would imagine Rhino would be pretty easy as well. I'm sure there's plenty of other frames that make that fight super, super simple. I wonder if Limbo I wonder if Limbo being in the Rift allows you to dodge everything. I don't know. But once we're done with that, we'll simply go to navigation, head back to the dry dock. So now that we have vanquished them, once we get back to our orbiter, our mail will pull up and we'll get all of the rewards. We'll get all the cosmetics that we get for vanquishing them, but for the Coda weapons specifically, what's most important is we get the live heart cell. You can get anywhere from 10 to 15 live heart cell per kill, depending on how many you get when you begin your Coda hunt. 10 live heart cell is going to be able to purchase you a Coda weapon. So right here, we got basically 1.3 Coda weapons, but where do we go to actually get them? I'm going to come back to the Hallvania Mall PC. And we're going to head to Hallvania Central Mall. Then once we're in Hallvania Central Mall, we'll go ahead and pull up the wheel using Q if you're on PC. And then we're going to go to Proto Frames, and we're going to head to Eleanor. Once we're at Eleanor, we're going to click on Coda Weapons, and we're going to have an option between anywhere from 7 to 6 Coda weapons, 6 to 7 Coda weapons, rather. I apologize. As you can see here, we can purchase them for 10 a piece. And the weapons specifically, the options in conjunction with their bonuses, their elements, and what percentage we get from the elements are going to rotate every 4 days. So even if you come here and you don't really see anything that you like, it's still nice to do the hunts whenever you feel like doing them, because if you come here and you don't really see anything you like, that's perfectly fine. You can just save your live heart cell currency until the weapons rotate, and then you can come back to Eleanor and see if there's anything you like, and you still have all the same live heart cell currency to spend. So that is not only how you start a Coda hunt, how you do a Coda hunt, how you do the final boss of a Coda hunt, and how you purchase the Coda.
Leakage worries still giving you sleepless nights? Change that with Stay Free Secure Nights. It has a...
I am not a king, I am not a god, I am Hump.
Worth using. All of the primaries are S tier. As for the secondaries, Catabolist S tier. I also did use this thing with Innovate, by the way. It's insane. Same thing with the Torzika. These two are probably S tier. Pox is shit. Tysis is decent. And then for the melee, I will say I was wrong about the Maya. I put a little disclaimer in the comments. I have been shown the ways by the comments section. Unified Codex, shout out to him, put a great video out on this weapon. I was incorrect about the Maya. I was also, bro, I can literally build this thing for gas electric. I'm a dumbass. It came with innate heat, just build a gas electric, even without a valence transformer. This weapon is really good with influence, and it's also really good with afflictions and slam attacks. The Coda Maya is actually probably S tier. There's another vehicle going by my house. Is that strike 3 or 4? Anyway, S tier, S tier, S tier, S tier. This thing is just decent. Like, it's okay. It's a good... I ranked this a little bit below, but it's good. It's really good. Mode 4 is good. I'm not saying it's bad, but people are absolutely coping about this thing being some sort of god killer when you put Dufty on it and puncture, just because they saw it do, like... Saying it's bad. It's really good with a S tier. As for the secondaries, Catabolist S tier. I also did use this thing with Innovate, by the way. It's insane. Same thing with the Torzika. These two are probably S tier. Pox is shit. Tysis is decent. And then for the melee, I will say I was wrong about the Maya. I put a little disclaimer in the comments. I have been shown the ways by the comments section. Unified Codex, shout out to him, put a great video out on this weapon. I was incorrect about the Maya. I was also, bro, I can literally build this thing for gas electric. I'm a dumbass. It came with innate heat, just build a gas electric, even without a valence transformer. This weapon is really good with influence, and it's also really good with afflictions and slam attacks. The Coda Maya is actually probably S tier. There's another vehicle going by my house. Is that strike 3 or 4? Anyway, S tier, S tier, S tier, S tier.
Help me help you. You got it.
Tenno, what news of the family, Tenno? Be patient with me, Tenno. Very good, Tenno. I hear is... I'll just... The debris of monstrousness. Let us learn from it. Ah, No matter, what you have gathered may be of use. Oh, I'll just pop off and find something to dust, shall I? I wait upon your pleasure.
Yes, several experiments are threatened by the murmur as they near completion. We shall protect Master Entrati's good works via a three-phase response. Prepare well. Before the foe is laid low, we shall not return.
Twenty 2019 was a long time ago, 6 years to be exact. I was 20 back then, and the Kuva came out, one of the oldest weapons in the game, and some people may even say it's very useless, but I beg to differ. Today I will be showing you 2 Kuva builds that will help you, well, with the right build, obliterate steel path enemies like it's nothing. So let's quickly get into the video.
Is your mod collection in order? No, I am not equipped to feel envy. Otis finds it odd that humans only get a few years to live, yet spend most of that time
Doing everything wrong.
learning how to.
Hello.
Attention. Void storm imminent. This will get a little bumpy. Housekeeping. Captain ship. Sweep and clear.
Tenno. Detecting void energy accumulation inside your objective. Fissures.
All corpus craft. Engage enemy railjet.
Disable priority targets prior to boarding the capital ship.
A bonus for whoever captures that ship. Ram sleds away.
You found a fissure. Look out for reactant.
A clumsy breach. Our invaders possess more enthusiasm than talent.
Conflict is escalating. I want another cruise ship on the field.
Alert. Enemy cruise ship on scope.
Dropped in.
Alert. Fires. Alert.
They're dropping reactant. Use it to crack open a relic.
Torpedo prime. Stand by to salvage their remains.
Flames extinguished. Crew. Strategic targets disabled. Time for the main event. Shelve the bloodlust. Borders repelled. Back to work.
Don't forget the reactant. You need more to open that relic.
Lotus will take it from here. Good luck. Caution. Void sink detected aboard that vessel.
You failed to prevent the Tenno from boarding. Intercept them at once.
You have collected enough reactant to open your relic.
Void storm intensifying. Notifying scavenger crews. The locals send their thanks.
Ready?
I was going to bring my little purebred Kavat on board. Ship's cat. Good luck. But then I thought, what if there's a breach and he gets sucked out? I'm sure Ticker will take fine care of him until I get back.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Void storm rolling in. Batten down the hatches. Vessel on scope. Clear the crew. Leave the ship for salvage.
fissures at your destination.
All forces, target the railjack.
Crew, disable priority targets before hitting that capital ship.
I want boots on the deck. Clear the tubes and launch ram sleds.
We have been boarded, and here is the B team.
I want torpedoes armed and dispatched now.
Yeah, job's done.
One down.
Ship secured. Everyone in one piece? Good. Hull breach. Venting ammo. Situation critical.
So, you know this bucket ain't bulletproof, right?
Repressurizing.
Arm the warheads. Fire full salvo. Take them down.
Storm is becoming more severe. Tenno has exited the railjack. Away crew. Kill the lights. This will take a minute. Defend this terminal.
Torpedoes locked. Target in range. Firing.
Hull breached. Life support failing. Equip an Omni and patch that leak. First code set decrypted. Move on to secondary terminal.
The relic has been cracked open. Finish your mission to find out what's inside.
Crisis averted. Mission continues. Matched code set. Analyzing solution.
Let's soften them up. Torpedoes. Fire at will.
All right. Playtime is over. Crash the joint.
All units prepare for shield resonance amplification. Tether power plant. Deliver charge boost.
Overshields are no longer a concern.
I want more firepower out there. Launch one of the cruise ships.
The enemy have called in a cruise ship. Situation evolving.
Torpedoes locked. Target in range. Firing. numbers, we've still got it.
Strategic targets eliminated. Time for the main event.
On the warheads. Fireful salvo. Take them down.
Handing off to Tenno Coordinator Lotus. See you on the other side.
Tenno have somehow been allowed to board us. Unacceptable. Wipe them out.
Void storm escalating. Stabilizing is proving difficult.